it doesn't mean you can take things like warhounds. They're not in codexes. Things like the ridiculous looking Lord of Skulls.
Oh, that does look dreadful, doesn't it? Sir Killalot meets a Tonka toy.
Oh, good grief. I think Beast of War put it again where some of the design choices for some of the models is questionable at best and head-shakingly worrying at worst. I mean, Blood Angels and Grey Knights got it, well, Space Marines as well, with their Storm Raven and the Storm Talon for that matter, with the Storm Toaster and the Orc Goldfish, as I like to call them. D weapons now, you get your cover and invulnerable save unless your opponent, unless the D weapon gets a 6 to wound you or penetrate your armour. Oh, excuse me. I've got a little bit of a hay fever going on. Yeah, unless the D weapon gets a 6, then you'll get your save, apart from armour saves. People have been moaning that's gonna make the knights pretty useless. I don't know about you, but I disagree.
Well, no, I just think the high points cost and vulnerability makes them useless.
I mean, I want to do loads of Thunderwolves against loads of knights, and that's actually viable, which I'll go on to in a minute. People are moaning because you can't take a invulnerable save in close combat, and for how many knights you're going to have.
Well, I think in about a 2,500 point army you probably have about 5, maybe 6 at the most. I'm not sure on this.
I think you'd have about. I think you had about 8.
Yeah, still not a lot really.
No, but you still get your stomps if you survive.
Yeah, but then you got to survive. I mean.
Yeah.
Yes, but with the new vehicle damage table, you can't you can't one-shot a vehicle unless you're AP 2 or 1. But there is a lot of AP 2 or 1 weapons in 40k these days.
I mean, for one example, sniper rifles have still got rending, so if you roll a 6, you AP 2, and they're now strength 4 against vehicles now, which is very characterful, but it's not going to make that much difference unless you're using Vindicare Assassins.
Oh yes, they are the exception, I think. And as far as people bringing the super heavies with this new Unbound shenanigans, bring a super heavy, bring as many as you want, and an halfway decent balanced list will rip them to pieces.
One thing I should say is they've taken out the rules for Aegis defence lines, the battlements and the fortresses, which if you've got the last edition will pretty much be the same. But if you haven't, it will be annoying because unless you've got Stronghold Assault, you won't know what the hell they do. I've still got the last edition rulebook, which is easy enough to remember. But if Games Workshop wanted to sell them kits, I think they've silenced any chance of that, or
it's going to make you buy the Stronghold Assault.
Yeah, which I think it's about 30 quid. It's not that big a book, really, all fair. The only two you're probably going to use is the Aegis defence line, which is still really, really, really good.
For its points, I think the Aegis defence line is priceless.
It is.
50 points basic, and then you can add quad gun for 50 points, las cannon for 30 points.
I think it's something like that.
And comm lines for 20 points.
You go for one of the weapons, really. Okay, the comms line They're still right, but
Handy if you've got a plan revolving around lots of things in reserves. The extra one to arrive could be handy.
yeah. I'm personally always go on the case of you want them to arrive as late as possible. Eldar got the best trick of choosing to add or subtract one to the reserve roll, which makes it closer to what it should be, your choice, not the game's choice. I use sometimes the fortress. People will question why, but it just looks so nice, and I suppose one tip is it's a big bullet magnet, just because it's so big. What else have they got? Choosing your army. Yeah, the Unbound thing is where you can pretty much take anything you want, and the only main thing you've got to worry about is allies. The allies matrix changed a little bit, but you can basically take what you want, field what you want, pretty much if it's in the codex or escalation sort of thing. But Battleforged is from the Force and Organisation chart, and their troops will always capture objectives even if you have something near, because unless you're flying up in the air or getting out of a transport, you can take anything can take objectives now, which will change a lot. But I've not seen many unbound armies. Mainly is that because people have made really cheesy lists to take down any opponent.
Possibly.
What else have they got? Warlord traits have changed. Warlord traits are actually viable now. Some of them are not bad, but none of them are useless. One gives you infiltrate for the strategic. Move through cover rule. There's traits for the objective cards and the special mission things, and the allies matrix
Hurts your eyes.
John here is colourblind, and
Yes, I am very colourblind, and that is horrific.
I'll just show it you. My God, that's awful. If they change the symbols on the Desperate Allies and Come the Apocalypse Allies, then it would have been a bit better.
Yes.
But they've gone for green, yellow, which, not bad, and then red and orange of a similar sort of shade.
I mean, they just look so similar.
There
aren't many that are very, very different. So
I can tell what they are, but I'm gonna have to look once or twice to know. You can have Chaos Space Marines with Space Marines if you want, which granted makes no sense.
Yeah, but it's Games Workshop.
The only thing with Come the Apocalypse Allies is you cannot deploy within 12, but anything else is like 6th edition. Preparing for battle. They've got the basic missions where you roll a dice for deployment, roll a dice for the mission, where there's one of 6, and then there's the Maelstrom of War, which uses the new ones. New objectives where you put 6 objectives down all over the place, and then you use the objective cards, because you plonk, say, I don't know, you shuffle them around, then you plonk, say, 2 down per player, then you reveal them, and then you try to complete them. But both people can try to complete the same objectives if they want. But you can roll on the table, but that's where these cards will matter. But if you're not playing any of the Maelstrom of War missions, then you're not going to care about this full stop. I want to say they're nice to have, but it's not essential if you're not going to do the Maelstrom of Wharton. I can see it's only going to be for full day games. I can't see it being for, you know, 1,500, 2,000 point games. It's not really worth it. Night fighting's changed where everyone gets stealth for the first turn, but you and your opponent have the choice on a 4 to get night fighting if you want. Take with one hand, give with the other, I suppose. What else have we got? We've got the special rules, which are all at the back now, which I think is better. You're going to have to get a bit used to it, but it does make it a bit better. A lot of things are automatic, like snapshot and counter-attack, that's automatic. Precision shot and strike are two separate rules now, which are in the rulebook now, which will make a difference. So, well, sort of. Template weapons can actually do damage to people inside open-top transports. D6 shots, I think, and then it's got different types of weapons, grenades, and then it's actually got terrain in the back, which is essentially advertisement for the different terrain kits.
Yeah. Buy more of this.
Gives you different special rules. My personal argument to this is Mantic. Mantic have got the terrain where most of this is not needed now.
But to be fair, they do look better.
The shine of the Aquila does. The Manufactorum, nah. The others, with the new ruin sort of terrain and the armoured up terrain they can do. The Battlescape and the crashed Aquila, yeah, fair enough, and the woods. And then it comes on to the different psychic powers, which the two new ones, the satanic ones are essentially Grey Knights. The malefic ones are essentially summon demons. Apparently online there's a video where someone summoned about 400 demons of Scenic, which, because most of them counter psychics and whatnot, but if you're all in that good sixes and whatnot, then you might as well play a different army, because that's just a level of cheese where even I don't think I with my Thunderwolves or anyone else will go near. And then it's got the reference at the back, which is really tidy, really clean. Building damage table, which was hard as hell to find before. I don't know how long it took to find it before.
Harder to interpret as well before.
Yeah, but this is easier, this is much easier. And then the index at the back, as you'd expect. So what do you think of the new rules?
Nice. That's about it. Nice. You know, they're all right. They serve a purpose.
Yeah.
As he says, they're tidy, they're clean, they're well presented.
A little too clean considering the front of it. I mean, really.
It gets you through a game.
Yeah. If this were like what 25 quid, that wouldn't be a bad price.
I think on first glance it eliminates one of my biggest bugbears from 6, is when you had to go through 3 sections to find the answer you wanted, rather than just go. This does seem to have the answer you want in the one place, rather than having to, you know, go for, I was checking this paragraph, then it'll direct me to this paragraph, and then on the third on the third time we're looking, you'll finally get what you want.
Games Workshop, I think, have finally taken note out of many of the other gaming companies out there, where everything is pretty much there. You can find it easy.
Yeah.
Going off on the tangent, I think Weird Miniatures, who make Malifaux, they brought out the second edition rulebook. I think this year, it might have been late last year, and they really should have been paying attention to the rulebooks of Games Workshop, because it is now, I think, it is now the worst rulebook in terms of finding where things are, because it is not great considering how this has turned out. You play Warhammer. How do you find the 8th edition Warhammer rulebook?
Actually, quite not bad.
Really?
Yeah, there's a couple of instances, where you have to go for a couple of sections to find what you want, but I find the Warhammer rules easier to retain in my head, so there's not as much of a search than there is for this one. And overall, I'm pretty impressed with that. Just a bit more effort on the cover, guys, would have been nice.
Yeah. I mean, I play Malifaux, but the rulebook needs to be done a lot better, because it is not good by any stretch